Knuckles is a 2024 miniseries and a Paramount Plus original that debuted April 26, 2024 on Paramount Plus with a 6-episode premiere, and all 6 episodes were streaming at one time. Each episode is from 23 to 33 minutes, the first episode being the longest at 33 minutes, and the second episode being the shortest at 25 minutes. This takes place in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, and the events of this show take place between Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog Part 3, which will release in theaters in December of 2024. Now, Idris Elba returns as the voice of Knuckles, and Adam Pally is Wade Whipple. Also, we see Sonic and Tails return in a very short cameo appearance in the first episode, as long as also Tika Sumpter as Maddie Wachowski. This is an interesting show, might I add. It basically talks about kind of Knuckles trying to adapt to life after the events of Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2, where him, Sonic, and Tails saved the world from Dr. Robotnik. And if you haven't seen those two movies, or if you haven't seen Sonic the Hedgehog Part 2 and you see this, they do give a recap of what happened in that. Now, in this, he must take on an apprentice in the form of Deputy Sheriff Wade Whipple, training him in the ways of the Akendo warrior to help him prepare for a bowling tournament in Reno, Nevada. Well, everything is interesting, and the story, the first 3 episodes are good, but then 4, 5, and 6 is really interesting because this is a Knuckles show. I understand that. But then when the human characters and the human elements come in, the show takes a turn and really, really slows down quite a bit. There is forced comedy at times, which some aspects is really, really good. It really eases the tension a little bit. And not only that, when Wade Whipple goes to back home to see his mother and his sister, that kind of dynamic is there, which is good. And Stockard Channing as Wendy Whipple, Wade's mother, is really, really good. Not only that, we have Christopher Lloyd as the voice of Pachacamac, the deceased elder of Knuckles' tribe, who returns as a ghost and kind of aids Knuckles in the way of finding the next true warrior. All the while, we have Mason and Wilby, who are gun agents and working for the buyer. And the buyer is a former lackey of Dr. Robotnik, played by Rory McCain. Now, the interesting thing about this is that not only is Wade going through certain emotions and trying to find that inner warrior spirit, but he also is going to Reno and the form of this bowling tournament in order to face his estranged father who is competing. And his father, Pistol Pete Whipple, is played by Carrie Elways. So it's really interesting. It's good to see that this show was 6 episodes. It came on all at one time. You can watch it in 3 hours or in 2.5 hours if you binge it real quickly. Like I said, this is a Knuckles show, and it just didn't feel knuckly enough, I want to say. Idris Elba is great with the one-liners. It's funny. It's really good. The music choices in this were really fun. It has that 90s dynamic feel to it because Wade grew up in the 90s. He has that mixtape from the 90s, and you hear the certain 80s music that he has as well. Other than that, it all takes place in the confines of a home or a bowling alley or on the road, and it's just over-the-top fun. For this to be a good show, it just didn't hit the mark where it should have, and it could have been good. Like I said, Knuckles is great. The comedy is great for Knuckles. He's serious, he's one note, but then the one-liners is what makes it. Idris Elba as the voice of Knuckles is phenomenal. Now, I do want to get to the one thing that really, really surprised me in this is the animation. The CGI and animation work for Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, crossing over from the films into a show like this, really is pristine chef's kiss condition. And I mean that literally, because you have shows that just flop around and don't really care about certain aspects of CGI or certain whimsical manners of how they go about things. Well, we know the whole backlash of Sonic the Hedgehog that happened with the design of that, and that changed the trajectory of how popular this franchise was and became. And now with 2 films and now a third one coming out, this is a good thing. Seeing Knuckles in certain aspects and how the actors were interacting with Knuckles, the character, as a CGI character, and then you see Sonic and Tails, the designs really stayed true to the form of the movies, which was really, really good. If they didn't, the showrunner, the head writers, whoever created this, wouldn't care about what they looked like. They would just be like, all right, let's make Knuckles grainy a little bit. Nobody really shows it. If it's in the movies, we'll fix it up a little bit. But no, they don't do that at all. With this show, they really, really brought over the dynamic feel of what the video game is and what the, I want to say, animation is, which is really, really good. Having Ben Schwartz come back as Sonic the Hedgehog and Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails for a minute cameo in the first few episodes was good and a nice touch. Love this show, but it could have been better and it could have been taken away from the human aspect to it. And I do want to say that Wade's sister Wanda was really, really annoying at times. It's just like one of those characters where it's like, okay, a little bit too much. Let's focus on certain things. And there is about, maybe I want to say, one episode where Knuckles is not in it at all. So of these 6 episodes, and the show is called Knuckles, he's only in it for 5 of the 6 episodes. And it's really, really interesting how that panned out. But there is no mention of a lead-in to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I thought we were going to have a post-credit scene. But hey, anything can happen. And I did like the throwback and the homage to seeing Wade's room of the 90s nostalgia, the movie posters, his bed sheets and pillowcase being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, his shirt being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The whole human dynamic, like I said, didn't fit, but the Knuckles dynamic was there. The action was good. Could have been a little bit better. Seeing Kid Cudi, whatever you want to call him, in this was good. He didn't have a big role, which was fine. But other than that, this show could have been a little bit better for what it was. But kids will love it because kids will understand Knuckles and Sonic, and the human aspect and the human story will be for the adults. But then if you're a little bit older and you're a child watching this, you see that human element coming in where Wade's father abandoned him. I don't know how that would go with certain parents or adults. I mean, like I said, this show tried, but I'm curious to see if we're going to get a continuation of this with a second season or after the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But we will wait and see to find out what happens. For me, Knuckles gets 3 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Knuckles. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What do you think about the aspect of the story, the animation, the 6-episode premiere? Did you like that it was a half-hour episodes? Do you think they could have been longer? Do you see certain things happening? What didn't you like about the show? What did you like about the show? And do you think that this will be a big second season, if there is a second season? And how do you see it transpiring into the 3rd Sonic the Hedgehog movie? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new review videos on my channel. I'll see you all in the next review video. I'm Mr. Filmstock, and thank you so much for tuning in.